What's up, Guardians? Summertime is here, the next Destiny 2 expansion is quickly approaching, and things are only starting to heat up. At the time of this recording, we only have a few weeks until the Edge of Fate is released, and you may be thinking, what can I do in the final weeks to be as prepared as possible for the new release? If you're a player just returning, check out my Returning Players Guide playlist, which lays out some specific things to prioritize between now and July 15th. However, maybe you're just a player that wants to get optimized and your account prepped and fully locked in to hit the ground running. Here's 3 areas that I personally will be focusing on to prepare for the upcoming expansion, and I think you should do these too. Real quick though, you hear this all the time, but most of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. Would you please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my content heading into the Edge of Fate? It helps a ton, and like always, it is greatly appreciated. The first area that I'm going to focus on to finish this season strong is to play the final weeks of Rite of the Nine and take advantage of the loot that Bungie is giving us. At the time of this video's release, all 3 Rite of the Nine dungeons are available to play and farm. However, there's only one dungeon that is featured and will see increased currency drops. Starting at reset on Tuesday, June 24th, the featured dungeon is Spire the Watcher. Starting Tuesday, July 1st, the featured dungeon will be Ghosts of the Deep, and starting Tuesday, July 8th, Prophecy will be featured and have increased currency drops. When we reach the final week of the season, we'll see a boost in currency and loot drops from all 3 dungeons simultaneously in what Bungie has named the Lootapalooza. If you've been playing for the extent of the Rite of the Nine event, you've probably acquired a ton of weapons. And if you're anything like me, you probably still need to sort through them all. Here's a quick breakdown of weapon rolls that you should look out for, whether you still need to farm or you're just cleaning out your vault. Just remember, all of these weapons can drop with multiple perks in each column, and the weapons are enhanceable, bringing them in line with tier 3 weapons that will begin to drop in the Edge of Fate. From Spire the Watcher, look out for the Liminal Vigil Stasis Heavy Burst Sidearm with Headstone plus Rhyme Sealer or Attrition Orbs plus Desperate Measures. The Terminus Horizon Arc High Impact Machine Gun got a substantial glow up with rolls such as Reconstruction plus Jolting Feedback or Envious Arsenal plus Rolling Storm. The Wilder Flight Void Double Fire Grenade Launcher synergizes well with Bait and Switch DPS rotations with rolls like Envious Arsenal plus Bait and Switch or Autoloading plus Vorpal. And last for the Spire weapons is the Long Arm Arc Aggressive Frame Scout Rifle, which is a bit lackluster but can come with some interesting rolls such as Rapid Hit plus Rolling Storm or Subsistence plus Dragonfly. From Ghosts of the Deep, be on the lookout for the No Survivors Solar Aggressive Frame SMG, which can drop with the ever useful roll of Heal Clip plus Incandescent. That makes this weapon one of a kind as the only SMG in the game that can drop with this combination. As you inspect the rolls, look out for double perk drops, as you might also want to get either Attrition Orbs or Rewind Rounds in the first column and Target Lock in the second column. The Cold Comfort Stasis Aggressive Frame Rocket Launcher stands only slightly behind the best in slot option, Hezen Vengeance, due to its element and the lack of the Volta Glass Origin trait. However, it is certainly worth looking out for a roll with Envious Arsenal in the first column and Bait and Switch or Elemental Honing in the second column. Bonus points if you get both. The new Pacific Epitaph is one of 2 total Waveframes in the kinetic slot as a stasis weapon. Though Waveframes have lost a bit of their luster, I would keep a roll with either Lead from Gold or Unrelenting in the first column and Chain Reaction in the second column. And look out for the Blast Radius Masterwork if you want to be real picky, as that stat decides how wide the wave is from each shot. The Greasy Luck Solar Rapid Fire Glaive is the weakest offering from Ghosts. However, if you're simply a glaive enjoyer or looking to fill out your collections, you could look for Heal Clip or Reconstruction in the first column and Incandescent in the second. Let's finish talking about the Rite of the Nine dungeon loot by talking Prophecy weapons. The Judgment Stasis 140 RPM Hand Cannon can drop with rolls such as Headstone plus Rhyme Stealer or Demolitionist plus Adrenaline Junkie. The Prosecutor Arc Precision Frame Auto Rifle has been granted even further arc synergy with rolls like Eddy Current, Dragonfly, and Attrition Orb in the first column and Rolling Storm or Volt Shot in the second column. The Relentless Strand High Impact Pulse Rifle hits like a truck and synergizes perfect with your True Strand or Prismatic kits. Look for perks like Tear, Slice, or Firefly in the first column and Elemental Honing or Hatchling in the second column. A special shout out to Firefly plus Elemental Honing, as the weapon itself will provide the strand damage, and the Firefly explosion can proc solar damage, giving you 2 of the 5 sources with 1 weapon. Finally, we have a Sudden Death, which is an absolutely juiced aggressive frame void shotgun that can drop with double damage melee perks. Look out for 1-2 punch plus trench barrel, slide shot plus redirection, or repulsor brace plus destabilizing rounds. If you're just coming back to the game, make sure to visit the emissary to pick up all available quests, and be sure to complete the requirements for the ritual initiation and crossing the threshold quests for 2 opportunities to pick up one of the following exotic rewards: the Navigator, Hierarchy of Needs, or the Gallahorn Catalyst. There have been some rumors of interesting cosmetics that may be available for purchase by using any of your extra non-area manifolds that you may be holding onto when you reach the final week of this episode. If you're satisfied with the weapon rolls you've received, look out for this new way to spin starting on Tuesday, July 8th. The second key area that I plan to focus between now and the end of this season is to set a schedule. Make sure to take advantage of the fact that you know exactly what is coming down the pipeline, and give yourself enough time to finish up any lingering Year 7 content that you want to finish up. Here are a few examples of activities that I intend to do to get your planning started. Take a look at your triumphs and seals to identify any that you're close to completing. Give special priority to the seals that will be unavailable or impossible to finish after July 15th. This includes the seals for episode Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy, along with the seal for this year's Moments of Triumph and Rite of the Nine. Look at the rotator schedule for various activities in-game and set a schedule with your fire team to complete these activities. Here are some key rotators to be on the lookout for. Starting with ritual activities, here's a calendar of the remaining Nightfall weapon rotations for this season. 1 week to put in your calendar is the week following Tuesday, July 1st, where the Void Rocket Sidearm Lotus Eater will make its final appearance for the season. Chase that destabilizing plus repulsor brace roll that we all know and love, and a special shout out to the Reconstruction 1-for-all roll, as it's an end game workhorse. Here are the remaining Trials of Osiris weapons that will be in rotation, along with your final chance to snag the Tomorrow's Answer Void High Impact Rocket Launcher. Grab this one with Envious Arsenal plus Bait and Switch. A third key area that I will be focusing on, and I suggest you also look into, is finally cleaning your vault. For some Guardians, the toughest battle they will ever face is deciding whether or not to hold that dismantle button to get rid of a once perfect weapon. Though I'm not a very sentimental person, there are weapons that I remember using in key moments in years past, and I just can't let them go. One example of this is my Trophy Hunter sniper rifle from Season of Dawn that I used for my fire team's flawless Scourge of the Past raid. Another would be my beloved Time Lost Fatebringer with over 30,000 kills on it. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should delete any weapon that you hold near and dear in this way, but here are the lines in the sand that I am drawing for myself, and I think you should consider as well. Start by sorting your vault by oldest, and look specifically for any weapon that's 1900 power or that you don't remember why you're holding on to it. In my opinion, it should not matter whether you fully masterworked it or not. If it doesn't hold sentimental value, get rid of it. Next, look at any craftable weapon that falls into a similar category as the last step. Now that Bungie has severely reduced the in-game currency cost and the time investment necessary to rank up these weapons, there's no reason to hold on to a bunch of crafted weapons that you never intend on using. If you have a craftable weapon that is not max power and or hasn't been used in the past 2 seasons, it should be dismantled, as it can easily be reforged and brought up to level if and when necessary. Finally, look at your armor through the lens of all the Armor 3.0 changes that are coming with the Edge of Fate. If you want to deep dive into how your armor is changing and how you can best assess your vault, check out my last video detailing everything you need to know about Armor 3.0. And for even more insight, check out the video where I decrypt 99 episode Echoes engrams in search of the perfect DPS armor. I feel a sense of excitement for the future that I've not felt in quite some time. And though there are a ton of unknowns, I know that we are venturing into a wholly new territory, which is what myself and many other Guardians have been asking for a very long time. I look forward to what's coming around the corner, and I hope that if you're enjoying my content, you will subscribe to enjoy this journey with me. And as always, be blessed.